Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I'm back in another video, and today I have got some Transformers news to bring you. Some of it has to do with a surprise from Cyberverse. We have some listings for Transformers Earthrise, and a G1 reissue has been found here in the US. Got a lot to talk about, so sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Alright, so before I jump right into the news, I just want to let you guys know I'm a little congested, so I'm going to try and grin and bear it to bring you guys this news because it's really, really exciting, and I couldn't help but want to talk about this. This broke, I think what Pia found this on at his local Target was a Cyberverse 3-pack with Cyberverse Prowl and Shockwave with a Quintesson. Now, we've heard talk about Earthrise having a Quintesson come up, and we've already seen that some of the Sharkticons have shown up in Cyberverse, but we never expected the Quintessons to show up here as well, especially since, you know, we don't know how they're going to be applied to fiction when it comes down to it, because you know, whether or not you follow the original G1 cartoon, where they were the progenitors of the Transformers, or if you follow the Aligned continuity, where they were creation of the original 13, or if you follow the BotCon comics, where the Quintessons themselves were actually creations of Unicron, which kind of goes back to their original tech spec that Bob Budiansky wrote, where the Quintessons came to Cybertron, and, you know, because they were sent there by Unicron to find Primus, but instead they decided to create, you know, mass produce the Transformers. It all depends upon how you follow the origin story for them. But this is a nice surprise. Again, I want to give a shout out to Pia for finding this. Pia, he usually posts, I think, on TFW 2005. And I think he has a YouTube channel. I could be wrong, but it's kind of cool that he found it. And just so you can see it here, I mean, here is his, you know, the gimmick itself. It actually is a turning gimmick. So the whole thing does turn when you press on the top of it. And that's kind of cool. It has different faces. And the actual Shockwave and Prowl seem to have like these little pods that go on top of them. I'm guessing the Quintessons are going to be doing mind control on some of the Transformers themselves, since they probably understand Transformer programming. And this is actually a repaint of another Prowl figure from Cyberverse. And I saw it in person, and I was really impressed because I don't really collect the Cyberverse toy line, but I think that this particular, you know, Prowl figure is actually a pretty neat figure for not being as posable as let's say Siege. But if you want an Earth mode Prowl without having to label them up, you can kind of get this one as well. And having Shockwave, of course, with his spider tank. But the Quintesson, it's a cool gimmick. It's a very cool gimmick. And if you're a collector of Cyberverse, I definitely recommend picking this up. So this is a nice surprise to see coming out of the Cyberverse toy line. And another bit of Transformers news that was another bit of a surprise as well is that in Farmingdale, New York, at a Walmart, someone has found and purchased the Reissue Astrotrain. To my understanding, he was supposed to show up, I think, at the beginning of 2020, but I'm guessing he's arriving early and Walmart's just putting him out. My local Walmart never, ever, ever has stocked any G1 reissues. I've not been able to find Soundwave or Optimus or any of them. I really wanted to get Optimus because he has the right size smokestacks, and the reissue Optimus that I have has the shorter ones, but I was never able to get Optimus. And I already have a Soundwave, and I have all the cassettes already that I've gotten from previous you know, releases as well. And I have, like, all of my G1 cassettes are like the G1 cassettes, and they're not reissues. And I also have this Astrotrain as well, so I don't necessarily want to get it myself, but it's nice to be able to get, especially considering it's Astrotrain, it's the G1 toy, but he's the same price as Siege Astrotrain, which I think for that price is a little bit on the expensive side, so he's $50. But that probably has to do with the fact that he's a reissue. And I'm also disappointed that they chose to go with the G1 colors for him instead of going with the box art colors, which is the gray and purple. Some people would prefer it that he is in his G1 self colors, and that's what they want to go with. And I'm perfectly fine with that, and I understand that. And, this is the exact colors that he was released back in 1985. So I think it's a really cool thing. I would want to get this Astrotrain myself if I didn't have him already. Of course, my G1 Astrotrain is missing some labels, so maybe I should just go ahead and invest in some Toy Hacks labels. But, it's kind of cool that you can, that a lot of people really wanted to get Astrotrain. Me personally, I want the Siege one. And speaking of the War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise is got a whole bunch of listings for the new line, and a lot of it we already kind of figured they were going to go ahead and do it, but it's really awesome because this kind of confirms that we're going to see a lot of these characters, show up. And some of you guys have been really waiting for, some of these releases. From what we can see, we have Battlemaster Rung, and from what I think about what Battlemaster Rung probably is, he's probably a repackage, or he might be a recolor of the Battlemaster Rung for Siege, and they're going to repackage him either in Earthrise or they're going to recolor him for Earthrise. We don't know. There is a new Battlemaster named Slitherfang. I'm guessing that it is a snake that transforms into probably like an axe or a sword or something like that, or maybe a spear. Don't know, but that's the whole thing with Battle Masters. And I really should do a video on Target Masters and Battle Masters and Headmasters and all that in the near future. Trying to get some more ideas for more Transformers discussions, which again, you guys can give me guys your ideas whenever you want me to cover a specific topic. I do write them down, and I do try to do my research to try and figure out, which one would work best for the next video. And we also have the Micromaster Race Track Patrol. I'm guessing that is they're adding more to the Micromasters that have been out there. Some people have been wanting more. I'm really curious about this Astro Squad, and the reason why is because I'm curious if they're going to do the Micromaster Combiners, and if they are going to do that, which I think they're going to do probably with Race Track Patrol, the Astro Squad might be the Space Shuttle. Back from G1, which I did have back when, when the Micromasters came out back in the late 80s. So it'd be pretty cool if they did that. Fast Track, I believe that is Scorponok's, one of his vehicles. So it's probably going to be a recolor of Cog, or it might be a brand new mold. We don't know, but that's probably who Fast Track is. And I'd be pretty excited to see that as well, because more, like the whole, weaponizer thing that they can do is pretty neat. And more of these names I'm excited for. First of all, Trailbreaker. We already saw that Hoist was going to be, come out, and we were going, yeah, they're definitely going to do Trailbreaker. Yeah, this is a definite. They're going to do Trailbreaker out of him. And I'm excited for that one, too, because I have the Thrilling 30 Hoist, and I don't have the Trail Cutter, as he was named. And I'm probably going to end up selling my Thrilling 30 Hoist, in order to get this new one. Probably going to try and sell off some of my old generations and some of my old Universe toys, because Earthrise looks like it's going to be I'm going to be replacing a lot of my collection with some of these new toys, because they look awesome. And Sunstreaker. We've been waiting for a Sunstreaker for a while. I still have my Generations, or I think it's Universe, Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. And personally, I would like to see a new Sunstreaker toy that looks more like his G1 self. And it's probably going to be remolded from either Wheeljack, or it's going to be remolded maybe from Run Amok. We don't know if it's all going to be like the same tooling, you know, because if they're going to do run amok, I bet you they're going to do runabout. They can't just do one and not the other. You can't do the battle masters or the battle chargers and not do, if you can't just do run amok and not do runabout. You got to do them both because they're a duo, and they're really, really cool. In fact, I'm actually thinking about adding the comic to my wall over here, to the one where they're spray painting the Statue of Liberty. It's one of my favorite covers from the original Marvel comics. And here we have a Voyager Quintesson. So more than just the Cyberverse Quintesson, we're definitely getting a Earthrise Quintesson as well. And I mean, I already have Energon, Alpha Quintesson, or Alpha Q as he was known in the cartoon. So this is a welcome surprise. I'm hoping that he is like full blown, like looks like the G1 counterpart, you know, colors and all. And, you know, I hope that it looks as good. Hope it looks a lot better than even the Cyberverse one. So, you know, we're going to look and see how that one turns out. And Snapdragon, I think, is going to be an amazing toy. I don't yet have Ape Face. Unfortunately, I didn't have the money when I saw him in the store. And then when I got some Christmas money, I went to go back to the store to go get him. And he wasn't there, so I got to get myself an Ape Face. But if Snapdragon is coming, that means that the entire Decepticon team of headmasters from 1987 all gets released, and I'm very happy about that. And this last one has got me excited because I want to start. I want to eventually do maybe a Transformers discussion about characters who either switch sides or are not on both sides, or we don't know, and that is Double Dealer. Now, we got a Generations Double Dealer, which was a recolor of Blitzwing, but Double Dealer is supposed to be a Power Master, and I'm curious if they're going to do the whole Power Master gimmick out of this leader class, because if they're going to go all out and make a leader class figure for Double Dealer, I'm wondering if they're going to add to him to make more stuff out of him, maybe make him a Power Master. And I'd be excited about that if they actually release him with the little bots that, transform, and make him both an Autobot and Decepticon, because he's a mercenary. He was one of the first mercenaries out of from G1 in toy form, because we had DevCon. I'd like to see DevCon get made as well. Double Dealer. And then, of course, we have Lockdown in animated, which eventually became, Age of Extinction. But Double Dealer is also a character. He shows up in, it was Double Clouder in Master Force. So I wonder if they're going to release him in Japan under the name Double Clouder. And I'm also curious if maybe because of his vehicle mode that he might get recolored as Cybertron Defense Red Alert. Which, if you guys remember, that was a big missile launcher, vehicle, and that is the same vehicle as Double Dealer, in his vehicle mode. So I would not be surprised if that ends up being the case. So those of you who really love the Unicron Trilogy stuff, you'll get your wishes if they decide to make those recolors. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about all this Transformers news? I think it's exciting. I'm excited about it. I'm eager to see, pictures. If we're seeing these listings, most likely we'll see this stuff, at Toy Fair. They're probably going to have a bunch of it on display, and everyone's going to get excited. And of course, I'll be covering that when that stuff comes out. But I want to know what you guys think. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I've got more Transformers coming down the pipeline, for 2020, and I might even do a live stream for New Year's as well. Hopefully my voice doesn't leave me or escape me before I can do that. So stay tuned for all of that. And if you want to help support the channel on Patreon or become a channel member, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.